guess my question is, I want to know from John as a wholesaler, how would he present that deal? Because for me, I would just explain. So my tactic would be for a seller, I probably would still be splitting that potentially, so co-oping. I charge a $5,000 flat fee, right? I put on the MLS.
Right.
My agency gets $2,500. Their agent gets $2,500. If I sell it myself, Mr. Seller, I'm going to get the entire $5,000. That's going to be my goal because I want that bigger commission. Most of the time, people are okay with that. And then if I also explain, we can put it on here for 3%, which is the $900 commission or whatever. But the odds of people showing and selling it, they're probably going to show everything else around you that has a flat fee in this price point, right? So the seller may choose by themselves, you know what? I think it's a better idea to go ahead and hire you at this price point. Maybe it's enough motivation for you to sell it, yourself, or for you to have a co-op agent come in and sell it with you. And so we can get this job done. But for you, how do you convince a person to pay you the $5,000 as a wholesaler?
The buyer?
The seller.
The seller never pays me.
They don't pay the buyer.
The seller, no, the seller, I get it, but the seller always, so you can't, and I learned this from my uncle, who owns lots of property. He's an attorney. The seller always pays because if they're not getting it in their profit.
Yeah, but the thing with the wholesaler is saying, I'm presenting 30 to you. I'm presenting 35 to the buyer.
Exactly.
So I'm making 5.
The seller is still paying because they're not netting the 5.
Yeah, but you're getting deeper than what most of our listeners.
No.
I see what you're saying.
Exactly.
Though.
Because if
the
I like that property,
always paying it.
So if I do like that property up on a contract, off market wholesale with the seller for $30,000, then all the seller knows in their mind is the 30.
Exactly.
And I let them know up front that, hey, I'm not the buyer. See, that's the difference between me and other wholesalers. I let the seller know up front, I'm signing this purchase agreement with you, but I am not going to be the end buyer. I do have a large network of cash investors that I can, present this property to. They're going to pay my fee. No commission is due from your proceeds. They pay all closing costs. So everything is up front.
Right.
So the seller already knows, okay, John adds his fee on top. I get my $30K. Whatever John makes on top of the $30K is his.
And here's so that's the sweet science of wholesaling. But they're not teaching that. Now let me flip it to the agent side, right? Now, say $30,000 home, seller wants $30,000, and you're an agent. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I know you want to walk away with $30,000. There's a certain amount of money I have to make to cover my marketing and expenses and things of that nature, and possibly a co-op agent. So then I say, okay, I'm going to list it for $37,000, right? Here's my commission and the extra $2,000 or whatever. And we're just talking small numbers. Extra $2,000 are going to cover miscellaneous title company fees, right? Now, in addition to that, there's also not a law that say you can't charge the buyer too. So I can go to the buyer and say, hey, I have a buyer's fee that I charge. I'm bringing you this sweet deal. It is listed, but I'm going to bring it to you first because you're in my database. And I might have 5 buyers already looking for this type of property. Matter of fact, I found this property because I had 5 buyers that was looking for this type of property. And I say, for every property that I find you, I have to charge you $2,000. So now I charge the seller $5,000 and I charge the buyer $2,000.
That's an advanced game right there.
Or $20,000 or $15,000, right? So there's a buyer agency agreement for a reason. If you read the GMAR or DAR buyer agency agreement, there's a retainer fee in there. I can charge you up front because I'm about to go do all this legwork. Or I'm going to charge you a commission on the sale, but I'm also going to charge the seller because I'm getting them a buyer.
Absolutely.
So what I'm saying is, if you don't know the business, you don't know the business, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why I talk about with wholesalers, like,
that's an advanced game right
I
there.
want to make $10,000 on this deal or $20,000, I can take the same deal
and
make more than most wholesalers can, because I can legally charge the buyer and I can legally charge the seller. But here's the difference. Now, I will say the disadvantage. Depending on what brokerage you with, if you charge it as a commission versus a wholesaler, you're going to have your commission split. But this is why we're with companies. I'm with KW, you were EXP. We all cap out. So once you cap, you're keeping 100% of that anyway, as if you were making the 5 or 10 or whatever as a wholesaler. So when you start understanding the real game, not what you learning on Instagram, you'll be like, damn, I'm going to get my license and I'm a wholesaler and I'm going to invest.